My name is Eglė, and I'm...
Eglė, enchanté, pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Unfortunately, we have to do this on
Yes, that would have been so great. For sure, I would have tried to come to Vilnius and meet the viewers of the film. And
yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's adapt to the current situation.
Voilà.
So maybe okay, let's maybe start from the main subject of the film, which is the loss. And I was thinking that the loss is it's very universal, and it's very easy to identify with it when you are watching the film. But it's not very easy to talk about it, you know.
No.
And you did it in quite a very in a very clever way, I would say. So can you tell me what brought you to this subject in the first place?
Yes, it's a very good question, and a difficult one to answer as well. Like I wanted the film to be about the longing, like a deep desire to get something back. And it's probably because sometimes I don't know, I feel like I go through some moments of my life and I feel it slipping through my fingers, and it's just gone, and I want to find it again. And like, I don't know, like I'm often nostalgic of some periods of my life, and I don't know, I wanted to explore that feeling, and I thought that to talk about very banal loss, like losing your wallet, losing your hat, losing your scarf, with people from all walks of life. Maybe I could start with that. It could be a starting point, and then I could have them talk about more immaterial loss, and so that was the idea, and that's why I went to the Lost and Found office to find my protagonist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to ask if this particular area of Lost and Found, do you have a personal attachment to it, or was it just?
I have a personal I have an attachment to the subway of Montreal, of my city. I feel it's a very democratic place, and I feel you find all kinds of people, and I like to look at people in the subway. It's something but these days I try to avoid the subway, but in better times I really enjoy taking the subway. So, and I noticed that office, and I remember watching a film, a Taiwanese film, it's called Murmure of Youth, and my memory is that most of the action was in a ticket booth, and it was two women selling movie tickets, and they were having conversations. So I like to have a small space and to try to explore a very small space like that office, like the Lost and Found office. Mm-hmm. And so yes, I have an attachment to the subway and to the. I like also like people tell their lives to these people. Like they are like you see in the film. They're like, oh, I lost my wallet. There was a picture of my parents, and they're both deceased, and I really need to find back the wallet because there is the picture. And then they engage with the employee in a story, and I found it really. I thought there would be a great potential, and I went to. Without the camera and by myself, I went to spy on these on these interactions, and I found them very interesting.
Okay, so how did you do how did you select these protagonists of?
Okay, that's
later we have a deeper focus on some of them.
Yes, it's like all of my films. It's like my challenge is to. I like to think that anybody can be the subject of a documentary film. So I'm never looking for a very special, extravagant character. And all my films, it's more like to celebrate the words of of everybody, of our words, like, and so I spent 2 days in the Lost and Found office, and we filmed hundreds of interactions with the employees. And of course, there was a kind of I screened everything, and then we told everybody that we might phone them again, and we might want to follow them in their winter nights activities, but really, yes, I did watch the interactions after I filmed them, and then I thought, okay, let's follow among these 200 people, let's find 30 people that we're gonna follow. Mm-hmm. And of course, I wanted like a very diverse group of people, but I also look at what kind of story they were telling the clerk, and yes, there was a choice that was made, even if I believe that anybody can be the subject of the film. And so we followed 30 people in 2 months, like the worst 2 months of the winter in Montreal, which are like January and February. And we would it's funny because I don't really like interviews, like in my film, usually I don't proceed like this, but I felt I had to go through that step so I could discover the universe of these people, where they live. I could find out more about their life, and the interview would be really, really about the object, the material object. Like for an hour, it would be just like, where were you? How did you feel? Like a bit like a police investigation, and then we would move to like different questions about deeper losses. But also there would be the interview, but then I would say, okay, next time, can we film you outside doing something at night? Do you go out and shovel and liberate your car from the snow? Or do you, and so that would be the third meeting with them would be like a night activity in the winter. And the fourth activity would be like, can you invite all your friends or family for a dinner or for a drink? And then it gives the dinner scenes that you have in the film. And they would become my ambassador during these dinners, because I would write questions for my protagonist and ask your friends, like once the night is really well started, after 2 hours, everybody had a good meal, a good drink, then please ask my questions to your friends. And that's how I proceeded.
Do you think, or did you notice that the people who talk about these losses, it's often, they talk about painful memories, and was it easy for them to talk to camera, about it?
Yeah, no, it's never easy, but it's because there was that process where we would go and meet them like 4 times. By like usually the last time we meet them, it's for this dinner with friends or with family, and I feel the more we interact with them, the more they know us, and then it becomes much easier. And usually I realize that what stays in the film is maybe the last hour of that dinner. It's always like, it's never the first hour of the dinner, it's always the last one, or it's the last hour of the interview. Like it's often like, when we edit, we realize that it's often towards the end that people are more free and they feel they are more comfortable with us. And we're a very small crew as well, so we were 4, so that's maybe makes it easier as well. But it's yes, they get to know us, we get to know them, and at the end they're quite natural.
I agree. Then maybe we can talk about the snow, which is very present in the film. And actually, yes, when we were watching the film with other programmers, we kind of felt sentimental to our winter, to those winters when we had lots of snow and now we have less. And I can see that snow and music and this white and black image, this darkness, they kind of create this nostalgic feeling. Can you comment on that? How did you create the style?
Yes, like I wanted to film during snowfall because I felt that the feeling of loss, it's bigger in the winter, like it's especially a winter night, but also like the snow will cover everything. Everything will disappear. Everything will be lost in a way. So there was this idea. There was also the idea that this is a film about nostalgia and I want to assume it. So I'm going to go for a grainy black and white. I'm going to go for like a jazz, a clarinet-led jazz soundtrack. So it can be, it can evoke some films like in the 60s, like Cassavet. In Quebec, we have Gilles Groux, who did a beautiful winter film that's called Le Chat dans le Sac. Or Louis Malle also had like a great soundtrack for Ascenseur pour l'échafaud. So yes, there was this, I thought like I'm gonna assume that I'm nostalgic and that I like this film in the 60s and I want a jazz soundtrack. But what I thought was fun also in the editing process is that we have this leitmotiv that comes back and comes back and comes back, and suddenly we just abandon it and we're into like Trisomy 21, which is a cult band of the 80s. At the end of the film, like I like that we abandon the leitmotiv and there's also a great song from Félix Leclerc from the 60s as well, but it has nothing to do with the leitmotiv. So yeah, I like that we were also free from the leitmotiv at one point.
So the style comes more from your film culture than from, for example, personal experiences? Because I imagine maybe
it's there's also a personal experience because I like the night, and I like that in the winter night I feel it is in black and white. There's no more colors. You go outside, it looks like it's so like shades of gray and yeah, I feel it kind of, we just push things a little bit more by making it black and white, but for me it looks like black and white when I so it is from a personal experience and also from my cinephilie or my love for films. Yeah.
Jean-François, are you working on any new project right now?
Yes, I am, but I'm working very slowly because I don't want to endanger my crew or my protagonists. So I'm planning to be doing research for the whole year, and my next film is it's like a long nightly conversation between two Chinese dissidents, and I want them to talk about, they're both great writers. I want them to talk about the creative process. I want them to talk about jail because one of them went to jail for writing a poem about the Tiananmen Square massacre. I want them to talk about the exile. I want them to talk about democracy in China. Is it possible? Is it impossible? Like I want like this long, intimate conversation at night. So that's what I'm working on. But it's gonna be, I'm not in a rush to film it. So, and it needs some travels and we'll have to wait a little bit.
Yes, that's true. Well, thank you very much. Unless you wanna maybe add something.
No, thank you for selecting the film, and I hope that people will enjoy it. And what I find a bit difficult in all these festivals online is that we don't get the feedback from the public.
Yeah.
And I needed to continue making films. So give away my email to anybody who wants to write to me after the film, and I will be fine with that.
Okay, will do.
Okay.
Promise. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, ciao.
Ciao. Do I leave?
Yeah.
Okay, au revoir. Thank you.